The market is super competitive in existing homes or new construction. But I have to tell you, I have a couple of tricks that I've been using to help get people under contract in this market that have been really great, even people who don't have money to go over asking. So if you would like to know how I do that, go ahead and reach out to me and we can talk about that. Well, here we are back at part 2 of my series on new construction homes in the Orlando area. So today I'm focusing on 2 pricing categories. Again, like I did the other one, this is $500,000 to $650,000, where you can find homes in this price range, and then $375,000 to $475,000. And keep in mind, when the builders put prices out there, so say they have a home that's listed at $510,000, that's just the base price of the house. The house price that's advertised is the base price. Then you've got to add the lot premium. Then you've got to add upgrades. Structural upgrades are one thing, and then also you've got to go to the design center. Most of the builders are not even doing design center now. They're just speccing out the homes and building them because it's so expensive to get materials that they have to go ahead and have them completely priced out before they can actually put them on the market to sell. Now, if you see a home that they're saying that it's an inventory home or it's a spec home and it's at this price, then that is the price for it. So it's only what I'm talking about with all the add-ons is when it's a house that has not been built yet. Without further ado, let's get started. We're going to talk about homes between $500,000 and $650,000. Let's start in Lake Nona. So in Lake Nona, we've got Meridian Parks, which is a really nice neighborhood. We've already talked about that. They do have some higher end homes there, which is great. Love it. But they also have some homes, and this is probably going to be about the lowest price range they have in a single family home. It's between $500,000 and $650,000. Mattamy does a great job on their construction. I have no complaints about Mattamy. I've sold quite a few Mattamy homes. They do a great job. Then you have Summer Lake Park, which is by Craft Homes. And I've actually never sold a Craft home, but I'm always happy to help people through the process of new construction. Even if I haven't worked with that builder before, I've worked with quite a few of the builders in the area, but just not every single one, because sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Then next on the list, we have Westland Park at Sunbridge, which is also Craft Homes. And again, Sunbridge, I know I talked about Sunbridge in my previous video. They are really expanding Sunbridge right now. Right now, it is mostly just a road that leads you out to the Del Webb community, and it's being built into a 2-lane road. And I have some video footage of it here so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. But that, as you can see, it has not really become a lot of new homes yet. It will be, trust me, it's going to expand. As soon as communities open up in that area, you will be the first to know. We also have the Gatherings of Lake Nona, which is Beazer Homes. Again, everywhere you look for new construction homes, there is going to be a waiting list, but the waiting lists are not impossible to get through. So even if there's a waiting list, if you have time, if you're someone who's looking to build a home or wait for a home to be built and you have 6 months to a year to accomplish that, then you get on the waiting list. You'll probably get called. Even if there's 50 or 60 names on the waiting list, that doesn't scare me, because I've had people that went on waiting lists with that many names and they got called. Because a lot of times people put their names on a list and then they go buy somewhere else. They just want their name on every single list out there. So don't let that scare you. Then in Laureate Park, which is also in Lake Nona, we have Ashton Woods and Dreamfinder, which I talked about Dreamfinder in my last video. They are a great builder, but right now they are on hold with all of any selling. They're building everything that they've already promised and not selling anything new until they get caught up. Now let's move on over to Winter Garden. Winter Garden is west of Orlando, and there are several builders in this $500,000 and $650,000 range. Not a lot, but a few. We have Encore at Ovation by MI Homes, and they're great. I have sold several homes in that community. They're super great to work with. It's close to Disney. I don't think you can get any closer to Disney in the Winter Garden area except for Encore. Well, except for the other one that's called West Haven at Ovation, and that's by Toll Brothers. That's a slightly newer community by Toll Brothers, and it is going like hotcakes. There's a long waiting list there. But still, again, it's not impossible to get in. Just give me a call. We will work through it. We can get your name on the list and get you started at some point. In My Homes also has Tilden Grove, which is a little further north, but still in Winter Garden. It's a beautiful neighborhood, small, so there's not going to be as many homes, but it's still really nice homes by MI in that $500,000 to $650,000 range. And then we also, again, we have Dream Finders, but at this point, again, they are not selling any more homes, so they're kind of on hold right now. And D.R. Horton's Waterley, as I've talked about Waterley in several videos. You know, Waterley is a great community, lots of lakes. It's huge master plan community. All their homes are on bidding. So basically they release a home that's under construction far enough along that they feel comfortable pricing it out, and then they put it on the market for sale. It may not be ready till 6 months later, but they go ahead and get it on because they've priced everything out. And then you have until Sunday to get your offer in, and then whoever is the best offer. And I do have intel on how to get your offer accepted with D.R. Horton. So let me know. I'm happy to help you with your new construction with any D.R. Horton home. I know the scoop on that. Now let's shift gears to St. Cloud, which is just south of Lake Nona. There's a ton of new communities opening up in this area, all in a lot of price ranges, but definitely in the $500 to $650 range. There are a few existing ones that I love. Hanover Family Builders, Hanover Lakes. I've done a video of that. I've sold a couple of homes in that neighborhood. Really pretty neighborhood. Also a few other ones in that area that are almost sold out by Hanover, but they're building a new one that's going to be closer to the older downtown part of St. Cloud. So that one's coming up, and I'll get more information as soon as it opens. But that's, you know, Hanover is a very trustworthy builder. I feel really good about them. And also, as I mentioned in a previous video, Craft Homes is building in Sunbridge. There's going to be a bunch more builders in Sunbridge, but as that comes up, we'll just start doing videos on all the homes in Sunbridge. In Clearmont, Clearmont is northwest of Winter Garden, and in Clearmont we have Taylor Morrison, which has a couple of communities, Canyons at Highland Ranch, also a waiting list, but you know, I just had a client get called. They've only been on the waiting list a month, so it's definitely possible to get in. Crestview also has some inventory homes right now. I don't know if they will by the time you call me, but they do have some right now and still have some availability coming up. Mattamy Homes has Waterbrook. They tend to have properties coming up here and there, so that's definitely a good opportunity still with Mattamy at Waterbrook. And then Ridgeview is Pulte Homes and Hanover Homes, and those are both really good options. There is another part of Clearmont that has some new construction. It's a little bit lower end. It's a little bit not as easy to get around kind of area. Part of Clearmont, it's more touristy and that sort of thing. Don't really go there a ton, so I'm not really familiar with that area as much, but there are some new construction in that area, in that price range. Apopka, there's some great communities by K-Hove and D.R. Horton, and of course, I talked to you in the previous video about the Oaks at Kelly Park by Toll Brothers. Also, all really good areas. I mean, Apopka is kind of one of the next boom areas aside from St. Cloud. Apopka is really getting ready to start having a ton of new communities. And I think that'll just really, it's kind of going to possibly be the next Winter Garden, you know, because it's got a lot of open land and a lot of potential for it to be a really nice community if new shopping centers and new schools and things like that will open up, which they will if new communities open up. So keep your eyes on that one. So I am going to wrap this up really quick. Actually, it's probably in a few more minutes, because I want to talk to you about the last and final price range, which is $375 to $475. This is definitely the largest price range, but also the most competitive, right? Because in this price range, you have people looking to buy homes, but you also have investors that are buying in this price range. So that is adding double the competition. And some builders don't allow investors to be at the top of the list. They keep investors over on the side. Some of them don't. You can be an investor or a single family home buyer for your own personal use, and you're right in the same lump with everybody else. So it tends to make it a super competitive price range. All of the communities that I have are going to be in the outlying areas. So you have a couple in Winter Garden, which I was very surprised that there was anything in Winter Garden in that price range. You have Highland Ridge by Meritage, and you have the David Weekley Courtyard series, which are really small homes that are like almost like townhomes because they're super close together, but they're not townhomes, they're single family homes. And those, I'll be surprised if they're priced out less than $475, but they have them advertised at that. So we'll see how they actually come out. They're probably going to be closer to $5. And then all of the rest of the communities are located more in the outlying areas. So I'm going to tell you some of the communities where these homes are that are in this price range. Some of them you will have heard of, some of them you probably won't have heard of them. So of course you've heard of Kissimmee and St. Cloud, if not out there in the world, but in my videos I talk about those areas, and there are a lot of new construction in that price range in that area. And then of course Clermont, you've heard me talk about Clermont. Have you heard of Mineola or Leesburg? These are also areas. Groveland is another one that's starting to get a lot of new construction. It just, as everything keeps moving out and moving out further, it's going into that area as well. And Deltona, have you heard of Deltona? Deltona, DeBary, and DeLand are all north of Orlando, and they're just, a little further out, but really booming with new construction right now. I just closed one in DeLand last week, so it's a popular area. Really, and it's pretty out there. It's more rural, there's not as much to do, but then you get a better price on your home. You've heard me talk about Apopka, but you probably haven't heard me talk about Mount Dora very much, which that is also an area that's getting a lot of new construction. Here's one for you, Tavares. Have you heard of Tavares? What about Eustis? These are communities, again, they're a little bit further out, so of course the land prices are less, so the builders are grabbing it up and building communities there. So these are some of the areas that are going to start having new construction homes in them. And here's a special bonus one, it's Mascot. Mascot is kind of out in that Groveland, Leesburg area, and well, it's pretty far out there, let me tell you. It's definitely on the rural side, but again, that's where they're building a lot of houses in that price range. So thanks for sticking with me today. I hope it was helpful. I'm just trying to kind of give you as much of an update as I can. Again, everything new construction is going to be a waiting list or bidding, but I can help you navigate through that. It's a process. Now, if you don't want to go down that route and you'd rather look at existing, there are some good opportunities in existing that I have been able to curate, if you will, by some strategies that I'm implementing with buyers. Now, it's not something I want to share on here because I know I like to have some secrets, right? So if you have any questions about buying in the Orlando area, just go ahead and reach out to me. Please feel free to download my free relocation guide that's in the comments box below. And thanks again for joining me. I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.